To call to order. Madam Clerk, I guess I'm going to throw it to you to make sure we're properly constituted for quorum.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Councillor Fonseca is here, I see. And Janice Baker.
Good morning.
Morning, thank you. And that's it, so we're good. And I also see Mr. Van Offwegen, so thank you.
Here.
Very good, thank you. And thank you for Councillor Fonseca. Are there any declarations of conflict of interest? Hearing none. Approval of the agenda. We only have one report. Councillor Fonseca, I'm sure you're happy to move approval of the agenda.
Yes.
And I guess you're the only
Thank you.
voter along with me, so we both agree, so we can move on. Delegations, we have none. We have one report, a very quick oral presentation, 5.1, Terms of Debt Issuance. Our presentation from Julie Patini, Director, Treasury Services and Finance. Julie, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Chair Yanika, members of the Debt Issuance Committee, and members of Council. Thank you for your time today. Joined with me today is Stephanie Nagel, Regional Treasurer, John Zingaro, Legal Counsel for the region, and Scott Hodgson, Portfolio Manager. I will provide a brief summary of the debenture before you today, and we're happy to take any questions. Pursuant to the approval received by Regional Council on January 14th, the City of Mississauga and the Town of Caledon requested that the region issue debentures on their behalf. On Friday, January 29th, the region launched a $47.1 million 1 to 10-year serial debenture, and it priced that same day. The timing of the transaction took advantage of attractive all-in rates and solid investor demand for the region's bonds. While initial spread guidance was somewhat varied, given the region was the first municipal transaction for 2021, and after a somewhat volatile 2020, there were strong efforts by both regional staff and the syndicate, resulting in final pricing at very attractive levels. We were able to secure an all-in yield of 1.213% for the City of Mississauga and Town of Caledon. This transaction represents one of the tightest spreads we have seen historically, and we saw participation by 8 unique investors. Staff continue their investor relations efforts with support from the syndicate, and we have seen an increase in the number of one-on-one meetings with investors throughout 2020 as well as in 2021. This interest has resulted in a growing investor base for Peel bonds and continued strong demand for municipal credit. Thank you, and we're happy to take any questions you may have.
Very good. Are there any, I can't let that pass, to have a credit rating and a standing that we do at the region of Peel to be able to go to the marketplace and borrow money at 1.23%. You know, I read a lot, I watch world news, etc. They talk about it all the time in Italy, which maybe isn't in our situation, but the spread in Italy starting is 5 full points, not basis points, 5 full points, 500 points above. So if the market wants 2, you're already in at 7 to borrow money as the Italian government. And we're a government that can borrow at 1.23%. I mean, that's amazing. That's a real tribute to everybody in this organization, our finance people, and the great work that's been done over the years and the decades to keep us in such a healthy state, and clearly speaks to our AAA credit rating. This is just marvelous. So outstanding news to the team and on behalf of the region of Peel. So sorry, Councillor Fonseca, have you had anything further other than perhaps to receive the report for me?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just echo what you have said. Happy to receive the report, ecstatic to receive the report. I did have one quick question.
Go ahead.
You mentioned that we were the first municipal transaction for 2021. Is this a history for us in the past? I know obviously 2020, 2021 has been a very, there's been a lot of unknowns and just unexpected. We're not necessarily sure exactly where everyone's going. Very great to see that 8 unique investors. But is this a history in terms of, are we typically kind of the first to the table, so to speak, in the past?
Thank you for your question. And through the thank you for your question. And through the chair, typically we're not the first. We typically borrow for our local municipalities later in the spring.
Yeah.
That's right. But if you recall from the approval that we received on the borrowing limits, this is 2020 borrowing for both
Yes.
Town of Caledon and City of Mississauga. So this was advancing, and then we do expect to do another serial debenture for them later this year.
Okay. I just thought it would be good to make that clear that it, okay. That's
Okay,
great.
thank you. Councillor Fonseca's
Thank you.
moved it. I'm happy to second it. There's nobody in objection, so that's carried. And with regards to the bylaw, Councillor Fonseca will move the bylaw. I'm happy to support. Is there anybody in objection to that? Seeing none, that is carried. We have no other business. Councillor Fonseca will move a confirming bylaw, which I'm happy to support. Is there anybody in objection to that? Hearing no one, we stand adjourned. Well done all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.